I was bent over the polished desk in his office, my skirt bunched around my waist, panties hanging at my knees. His thick, commanding hands pressed me flat against the mahogany as his heavy body drove into mine from behind. The blinds were half closed, the city lights flickering through the cracks, but I only saw black. My husband's boss. His deep voice in my ear. "Relax, no one's going to find out. Not him. Not ever." And still I moaned for him. For the man who signed my husband's paychecks. How did I end up here, with my husband's boss claiming me like his property, while my husband, clueless and loyal, was probably bragging about work somewhere? Would you risk everything for one taste of forbidden power? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to click on that subscribe button if you haven't yet. I should have known from the very beginning. The way he shook my hand when my husband first introduced us. His grip was firm, his dark, broad shoulders filling out his suit jacket. His eyes didn't just see me. They undressed me. My husband was excited that evening. "Babe, this is my boss. The man who gave me a shot when no one else would." His voice was full of respect, admiration even. And I smiled politely because that's what a good wife does. But in the pit of my stomach, something was already burning. The boss was in his early 50s, thick arms, a chest that filled out his white shirt, the kind of man who carried himself like he owned every room he walked into. Compared to him, my husband looked like a boy trying to wear a man's shoes. Started with a look. One afternoon, I stopped by my husband's office to bring him lunch. He wasn't at his desk, so I waited in the reception area. That's when his boss walked past. He slowed, smiled, and his eyes traveled down my blouse just long enough for me to feel it. I don't know what came over me, but I shifted slightly, letting the fabric of my dress tug lower, exposing just a little more of my cleavage. His eyes lingered there, hungry. He didn't say a word, just smirked and walked into his office. My heart was racing like I had done something criminal, but deep down I loved it. The flashing became a game. Whenever I came by, I'd wear something low-cut, or a skirt that showed more thigh than I should have. Sometimes, while my husband was distracted, I'd bend forward just enough for his boss to catch a glimpse down my blouse. Each time his eyes told me everything. He wanted me, and I wanted him to keep wanting me. One Friday, he leaned close when no one was looking, his lips brushing my ear. "You enjoy teasing me, don't you?" I froze, but my body betrayed me. My breath hitched, my thighs pressed together. "Yes," I whispered before I could stop myself. That was all it took. It happened at a work function. My husband was chatting loudly with colleagues, oblivious as always. I excused myself to the ladies' room, and when I pushed the door open, he was already there, waiting. He didn't ask, didn't hesitate. His big hand grabbed my waist, pulling me flush against his chest. The scent of cologne, expensive whiskey, and raw male heat filled my lungs as his mouth crushed mine. I should have pushed him away. I should have screamed. Instead, I opened my lips and let him taste me like I'd been starving. That night, I went home and lay beside my husband while he snored. But all I could feel were the boss's hands on me, his tongue in my mouth, his promise still echoing. This is only the beginning. It escalated quickly. Afternoons in his office when the blinds were drawn. Quick kisses in the stairwell. His hand brushing against my thigh under the table during lunch meetings while my husband sat across from us, completely clueless. Sometimes I'd flash him deliberately, lifting my skirt just enough when I perched on the edge of his desk. His eyes would darken instantly, and within minutes he'd have me bent over that same desk, taking me like I belonged to him. At home, my husband would laugh with his boss, shake his hand, share drinks like old friends. If only he knew what those hands had done to me hours earlier. The boldest was when he came to dinner. My husband invited him over, proud to have his boss at our humble table. I cooked, smiled, played the perfect hostess. And under the table, while my husband was serving himself, the boss's hand slid onto my thigh. Higher, higher, until I had to bite my lip to stop from gasping. That night, after my husband fell asleep, I slipped outside to take out the trash. He followed me, pinning me against the back wall of our house, his body covering mine as he whispered in my ear. "He has no idea, does he?" I shook my head, dizzy with lust. "Good," he growled. "Keep it that way." Weeks turned into months. I lived two lives, the faithful wife in the daylight, the boss's secret possession in the shadows. Every time I swore I'd stop, he'd send me a single text. "My office. Now." And I'd go running. It wasn't love. It wasn't romance. It was raw, filthy hunger. Power. Control. The thrill of being taken in places I shouldn't, by the one man my husband trusted most. And God forgive me, I didn't want it to end. So here I am telling you my secret. Bent over the very desk where my husband earns his living, taken again and again by the man who owns him. And the question burns in my chest every single night. If you were me, would you stop? Or would you keep letting him destroy you in the dark? Tell me in the comments. Do you think secrets like this always come out? Or can some forbidden affairs stay buried forever?